jacket. My weed smoke is my lot, a key of coke is a pie. When I'm lifted, I'm high. With new clothes on, I'm fly. Cars is whips and sneakers is kicks. Money is chips, movies is flicks. Also cribs is homes, jacks is payphones. Cocaine is nose candy, cigarettes.
Hi, I am in New York and now I'm going to teach you to speak real New York lingo, and my homie Kyle is going to help me. Hi Kyle.
How are you? What's up?
What up? Hey, Kyle grew up in Queens.
Queens, New York.
Yeah. What is New York lingo actually?
New York lingo, slang, it's just our way of talking, the way we grew up, where we're from, how people communicate with each other. We can sort of differentiate from who's from a neighborhood like we grew up and who's not from like a neighborhood where we grew up.
How can I say hello, hi, how are you, New York lingo?
There's a couple of different ways. Sometimes it'll just be like a, what up, or like in the South, sometimes they say, what it do, or like what's poppin', what's good,
And a really awesome book, it's called Wu-Tang Manual. What's this book about?
The Wu-Tang Manual was basically based on a lot of the mythology that comes out of Wu-Tang Clan. They're from Staten Island, otherwise known as Shaolin. And it basically schools you on how Wu-Tang developed their style at rhyming, developed their slang, developed their mythology, all the things that went into Wu-Tang and how they came together, and their philosophy about life and business. And Shaolin, it's actually a monk monastery in Asia, but they grew up on a lot of kung fu flicks, and they grew up sort of mastering their rhyme style based out of kung fu and kung fu movies. So they renamed Staten Island Shaolin. That's another example of how Wu-Tang figured out their style. But
to find jewelry and shine. If you in love, that mean you blind. Genuine is real. A face card is $100 bill.
So, God hour, 7 o'clock.
The God hour in part of Wu-Tang's mythology is them talking about the nation of the gods, which is sort of a sect of Muslims, and they grew up studying Islam. And so the most important number in Islam is 7. It's considered a holy number. So if someone says, yo, meet me at the God hour, they mean meet me at 7 o'clock. The God hour.
Manufacturer of wallaby. Okay, what is wallaby?
Wallabies are a certain brand of kicks. They're very fashionable, they're very stylish. If you quote rockin' wallabies, that means you're dope. You got the illest fashion on. And it also means that you're no one to mess with, because if you're rocking wallabies, you got to be able to hold them down and keep them, because somebody else might try to take them from you on some come up off that, you know what I mean?
Gully is ghetto style.
If someone got put in a gulag and they maintained their reputation, they were able to hold themselves down and represent themselves in a respectful manner, you would say, yo, that guy's gully. It's another way of saying someone's from the gutter. They're from the lowest part, and they were able to rise up and maintain their personality and maintain their being.
The gun, the chrome, right?
Yeah. Chrome, it's like a lot of times in lingo or slang, you may take something like let's say you have a sickle. Instead of saying like the hammer and the sickle, instead of saying you have a hammer and sickle, you might say, yo, I got my steel with me. Same thing with a gun. Instead of saying just a gun, you would say chrome, because it's chromed out. That's the way it looks like with jewelry. The way jewelry shines and the way it reflects, it's kind of the same as ice. So someone might also say, yo, I'm blinging, I got my ice on,
Yo. Hey, here I found a very interesting expression. Afro-American female on New York lingo is called black chocolate.
That's pretty much self-explanatory right there. Or if you had if it was a white chick and she was from the hood, you might call her a snow bunny.
Snow bunny?
You might call her a snow bunny. Another word you could use, black girls that are from the South and they're really, really light-skinned, you might call them a red bone.
Red bone?
You might call them a red bone because their complexion is similar to a Native American. They're so light-skinned, so that you would call them a red bone.
So how would you say, I'm hanging out with the girls at the party on the New York lingo?
You could say, I'm kicking it with the shorties, I'm kicking it with my honeys, I'm chilling with a dime, and you would be a dime. A dime is a way of saying, like, yeah, she's a 10, like she's the highest caliber of a woman. Instead of saying 10, you would say dime.
Genuine is real. A face card is $100 bill.
Rainbow duff, it means money from around the world.
That's another one. It's a metaphor. I mean, rainbows, it encapsulates all colors and creeds. So, you know what I mean? Just apply that to money, you know what I mean? Whether you're in Asia getting that yen, or you're in South America getting guap, you know what I mean? It's all encompassing, so. Dripping on wood grain.
Dripping on the wood grain.
Dripping on the wood grain.
Dripping on the wood grain?
Wood grain.
Wood grain.
That basically means that you're in a car, which is the same as a car. You could also call your whip. Back in the day, they used to have horse and carriages. So like now your car would be your whip, you know what I mean? You're rocking in your whip.
I'm rocking in my whip.
You're rocking in your whip. And you could also say like, Paul Wall would also say something like, I'm sipping on my drink, or I'm on that lean. Basically, you know, when you're on alcohol, you're a little intoxicated, your balance is off, you might lean, you might swerve, you know, so people might say something like, I'm sipping the lean, getting my swerve on.
Thank you, Kyle, that was awesome.
Say it, go. I'm sipping my lean, I'm getting my swerve on.
So that was my homie. Kyle, he drops some knowledge about New York lingo. Yo, what up?
Check it, my weed smoke is my lot, a key of coke is a pie. When I'm lifted.
So how should I say in lingo, like?
I take care. We out.
Good to meet you. We out.
Good to meet ya. We out.
We out.
Okay, right, man. Good to meet
Good to meet you too. We out.
Yeah.
Nice to
meet you.
All right, cool. So yeah, for starters, get up on Wu-Tang, and even more importantly, currently get up on Smart Crew. And shout out to the homie Death Spot.
And now we all go to the metal show. Yeah.
Get it? Right. Peace.
Criminal slang, that's just the way that I talk, yo. Vocabulary spills, I'm ill. Yo, a burglary is a joke, a wolf's a crook. More beat already explained the meaning of shook. If you caught a felony, you caught an F. If you got killed, you got left. If you got the dragon, you got bad breath. If you 730, that mean you crazy. Hit me on the hit means page me. Ain't you just a sherm? If you got AIDS, you got the germ. If a chick gave you a disease, then you got burned. Max mean to relax.